Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic and this is another reaction to Oregairu. It is season 2 episode 11 and you know what to do as always. If you want to see the reaction itself, just go down into the descriptions, follow the links, replace the parentheses dot parts with real dots and enjoy. Once you've done, feel free to come back here and hear my thoughts about this episode, so see you soon. For those who came back, welcome back. Now let's see, that episode was weird. I don't know. I mean, it was completely centered around him. No question here. So it's in this episode mainly about Hayato and the fact that his group of friends possibly wants to stay with him and no one wants to leave the other one. A typical problem, right? So let's see. First things first, however, as I just realized, I wanted to check something in the intro. There we are here. Nope, not there. Ah. The moment when you're searching stuff and you cannot find it. Because, as you may remember, there was a picture in the intro of the club room with 4 people in it. Yeah, which I just can't find. So, I'm pretty sure it's Iroha number 4, but I might be wrong. So, whatever. Back to the picture that I chose because I really like it and it's, in my opinion, an important one. So, multiple major things. It's about him and his group. It's about kind of Yuki's past and his past. And it is about the relationship between those two guys here. Between Hiki and Hayama. So, which is a strange relationship, really. This I hate you statement and wanting to be equals, while it never really seemed like they are, right? Because to me, from the way that the series was set up, that the characters were introduced, it always felt like Hayato Hayama is the top dog, right? He is the shining paladin, the one that everyone loves, the most liked boy in school, the boy that more neither every of the girl would like to go out with, or at least a lot of them, the one that is always friendly and shining and has a positive attitude. So, right on top. Additionally, with good grades, good in sports, so he is the one, right? And then we have Hiki, who is like the deep, dark, brooding, negative part of that. The one that everyone does not like. The one that is always negative about stuff, who keeps pushing people away, who, at least from what we've seen, is not really liked by the girls at all. Had problems there, as we know. So, it's a weird thing if the big and glorious one tells to the dark looming one, I want us to be equals. Okay, that's something I can get to, kind of, but this I hate you because I feel inferior to you. And that is very interesting. So, because from what I said, everything, he shouldn't, right? You're good in school, you are good with the girls, you have a lot of friends, and everyone looks up to you, so why should you feel inferior? But then, and I think that's what it is about, Hiki is the one that is, it's possibly not the right words, good at manipulating. He tries to understand people more. He does understand people in some kind more, I guess. He's able to achieve results in human interactions and problems that cannot be achieved on a positive way, on a good and shining paladin way. And I think that is possibly what Hayama does not like. I'm not sure. Might be wrong there, but maybe that's it. I want us to be equals. With these, I feel inferior to you. I don't know. It's a strange thing. So that's those two. And this I hate you too stuff. It feels a bit more like a, I kind of like you thing. This kind of I hate you statement to people you like, weirdly enough. So that's that part. The whole episode was set around future studies. The fact that you have to choose where you go from here, into which direction your career, or at least your school career, should go on. So choosing specific lessons, specific classes. And that means that the group, which is at the moment a bulk, is staying together most of the time, will automatically split up depending on where you go. So those that are going to science will spend less time, not no time, but possibly less time with those going to arts classes. So a lot of people are worried about that because they feel like friendships are drifting apart. And that is what the major story is about. Some people don't want them to drift apart, especially as we know now, Miura, who does not want that and is worried about it. So that additionally gets an icing on the cake by the fact that there are rumors that Hayama is going out with Yuki, which is a weird rumor because it does not seem to fit at this time. However, there seems to be a lot of finger points that this happened in the past somewhere, or they have a lot of past together. And Yuki, by what she says, is kind of setting this up as well, that there is more in their past than just knowing each other, right? But not at this moment. But so other girls are now going out and hitting on Hayama, trying to check if he's available, because it is said that Yuki tried, which is weird because we've seen Iroha try. So she was the first one to go there and just ask and say, I like you, want to go out on a date? And he said no, as we know. Possibly just no. So it's kind of someone started it, and somewhere on the way it got changed into that it was not Iroha but Yuki maybe. I mean, seeing from the way that Yuki did it in the past, Iroha did it in the past, that she always wanted to be liked by everyone. But that's wild speculation. Wouldn't it be strange if Iroha would have done that? Set up this rumor, so to make sure no one thinks she got rejected. Because it shows kind of a negative light on you, right? It would fit. I mean, it's kind of clever. I don't know. So everyone is going, or many are going after him, which they didn't show. But that's another thing that Miura is worried about. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure she wants to be with him as well. And it seems like she did not ask him. And there was this moment at the sport court where Hiki was trying to find out where he's going. Where he said, I'm waiting for someone specific to ask me. Or to come to me. I don't know if it is her, but I kind of guess it is Miura that he's waiting for. That he's waiting for her to make the first step. To move on and say, hey, would you like to spend more time? Would you like to visit me? Would you like to go out on a coffee? Whatever you want to call it. A relationship, right? So he's waiting, and she's not, I think she's not doing it directly. She is using the club again, as others did in the past. And he is waiting for that. By the way, I really like the fact that he was able to see through Hiki like instantly. Like, you're asking for someone else? No. We had Ira mentioning her own birthday, by the way, to Hiki. Just like, so you remember, right? I want something. And we had this interesting seducing moment, which was, it really reminded me in this moment about Totsuka, because she, whenever Hiki was watching him, he was this psycho who was this blooming, I don't know how to describe it, this glowing face, right? So that's something that Iroha is able to actively do. which means that she used it in the past and she knows how to do it. And Yui and Yuki does not seem to know that, on the one hand, how to do that, or didn't. Now they do. And they were kind of upset, I think, about the fact that it worked on Hiki. That's later on. We have Haruno in the mix as well, just for a moment there, right? So she was there in the school again, which it is a bit weird. I mean, she pops up here and there, but as far as I know, she's no longer a member of the school. So why is she there so often? It's a bit weird, but she's part of the story. So okay, she's no more longer chased by Yuki, as Hayama found out, and I like that he realized that, because that's kind of like a stamp on it, right? If he says she's not doing it, then we can be for sure she's not doing it anymore now. And she did this great forcing Hiki to accompany her. This was like using her power, knowing how much of power she has and using it. And she gave some insight as well. That's interesting. Once again, that Hayato waits to be asked. So she knows him as well. So she gave insight. That's the thing that this series does pretty good. There are some characters like her, and like the teacher as example, that seem to have a lot of insight in specific characters, or some of them in more neither every character. The teacher is having, Hiratsuka is having it in, I guess, like everyone. And they show that to you. I think they use it partially to further the story, and partially to, when you have suspicions about directions, they are like the proof, the stamp on to say, yes, it's right, that's where you go. So that's what she was used for. And then Hiki set up this run, this sport event, and I think I'm not sure if he did it with Hiratsuka or if he did it with Saiko. I think he did it with Saiko because I mean, I believe that he might have the number of the teacher on his phone, but for sure he has Saiko's number on the phone. So and Saiko did something for him later on, so I guess it was with him, and the teacher just went along. So they made this running, and by doing so, he had everyone together at one place, and he had a competitive situation with Hayama, which led to this picture here. And on purpose, everyone fell behind. And they set it up in the beginning of the episode when we realized that Totsuka Saiko is really the team captain. They do what he wants. So if he says, and now we go slowly, because we want them to be ahead, or that he just like, maybe he doesn't even say why, he's just like, but now we go slowly, and we wait, right? So he gave him a time to talk, to find out stuff about each other and what all of this is about. Now, there was a moment in this run which I really liked because it reminded me of one of my favorite movies. So we have Hiki and Hayama running, and you can clearly see that Hayama is the sports canon, right? He's good at sports, while Hiki is clearly struggling keeping step, and is being left behind later on. But he goes this far to the half, and he is even reflecting about that because he has a purpose on doing it now. And he's about like, he has this goal of just reaching the half and so on. There is this moment, and that's why I like that moment especially, in the movie Gattaca. I don't know if you know it. It's a movie about genetics. And there's a moment where two brothers, and they're very, when it comes to sports, like those two here, they're swimming to an open sea. And I think it is more told from, no, I think there's a scene even in it. They just don't talk about it. It's a scene in. And they're having a competition. Who can swim longer? So they go out on the ocean. They swim outwards, and the sports brother, the one who is perfect on everything, is just going, and his smaller brother, the one that is not as good as him, as he shouldn't be, is keeping track. And then there's a moment when the sports brother is breaking down and is like, I can't do it anymore. How are you able to keep up with me? How are you able to still swim when I'm feeling like I can't? And the smaller one, so in this case Hickey, says, because I never intended to go back. I never kept energy left for the way back. Which is, by the way, a harsh thing to state, right? Because it's like, I was willing to die just to beat you once. So it felt a bit like that, because Hickey is burning out there just to keep up with Hayama for a moment and be able to talk to him. And then he falls down, is last on the finish line, injures himself, all of that. So it was very much alike. And I think that's why Hayama is upset here as well, because he feels inadequate to Hickey on some levels, but clearly when it is about sports, he shouldn't lose to him at all. So that's why in this moment he's like, okay, we talked, now I will leave you, I will win, and just goes off in the distance, as he does. Number one, right? It's a great one. Let's see, they had this discussion about if Hayama wants to be set free of all expectations, because everyone is kind of expecting him to be nice to each single person. So person A, B, and C, every one of them says, Hayama will be in my class, so we spend time together. He is mine. You know this? Everyone feels like Hayama is a good guy, he's mine. The problem is you cannot do that for everyone. It's just not working. So Hickey was like, choose science. There are way less girls, for sure. So you will have less of those problems in the future. And it will be the easiest way for you to wiggle out. And Hayato is like, I will not do that because you said so. So he's like, nah, don't do it. And we have in the ending of the episode the moment where Hayama says that he just goes with the flow in the end, right? He chooses what he thinks is best, and what happens happens, because there are things you cannot change, and you just should go with the flow. And in this case, where there are so very many variables, everyone wants him to do something. I mean, in the end, do what is best for you is what he's doing, and I think that's the right choice, and he's correct in doing so. So we will see where this is leading, right? That's life. You cannot always steer the wheel. Sometimes it's going by itself. Possibly one of the last sentences of the dinosaurs when it came crashing down on them. Just saying. Yeah. We have this... I think it's the last one. Yeah, kind of. We have this moment in the infirmary. So, that was something else. Yeah, I think I will find it. Good. Yeah. There we go. Okay, multiple things here. So she was taken out of the race because she was just standing at the line and breathing, right? So kind of like taking a break. He's going there because he's injured, because, as I already mentioned, he overdid himself by far. So that's why they meet there. That's okay. Now, he's injured, and she offers to help him there. That's a big gesture. That's in many ways a very... It doesn't have to be romantic, but it is an intimate moment. Because he allows her to touch him to get close to him into his inner sphere, right? To see him injured and I wouldn't say weak, but you know. So that's one thing from his side, and she offers to do that for him, which is there was this picture I just skipped over it where she was kneeling before him. So that's he is sitting and someone else is kneeling before you. Although it is not meant as a prayer or a praise or anything, it is still in this moment she lowers herself in some way, in the meaning of she's tending about him. That is caring about someone else. And she's willing to do it for him because she likes him and he's important to her. So there, from both sides, they open up. They allow each other to be close. They show each other that they care and they trust each other. And they both trust each other that they will not misuse this for whatever kind of thing, right? So that's a moment of, yeah, well, deep meaning in my opinion. I'm not sure. I think in the beginning it was about a very deep friendship or very deep, a deep trust. But then it changed into this moment here when they realized that their face is very close to each other in a distance that is because they are into each other's intimate sphere. Normally so close that you are about to kiss. And if you are that close with your faces, it is like this. If you like each other, like there's a draw to each other to do that. And it was the interesting question of something that would happen. I mean, it felt like she was kind of waiting if he would do something or not. This picture, if you look how they sit here, it looks pretty dumb. You know, that's not romantic in this moment here. They just look like two very exhausted and hunched over people there. You know, like not really intimate or anything in this moment, but their faces are close, and that's the thing. And then he chooses to pull back. I don't know why. He may have his reasons, but he pulled back there and goes to the door. And this is where we have Yui. So, question here is, was she spying, was she listening, or did she really just pop up? She said that she was invited there by Yuki, so she knew Yuki was there. Can only guess there. But there was in many regards, interesting moment. Once again, a little moment of it could have been something. Not happened as expected, right? So, interesting episode. Slow again in many regards. So we talked about the pacing of the series in general, especially this season. So where are we going? I don't know. I guess next time either they show these directions in school that they are going and what that will do. We will see. So that's it from me this time. Until the next time, feel free to comment, like, and subscribe. My name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye and out.